Okay, as I was driving along, I happened to look in my rearview mirror and I saw a large black figure cross the road. Only for a second, but it was long enough to see it take one stride from the middle of the road to the edge of the road. And we measured it 600 feet away from my car. I immediately turned around and went back, and about 45 seconds later I arrived there and there was nothing to be seen. Okay, this is the exact spot because I immediately put my blue band on there to mark it so I wouldn't forget where it is on these many miles of park road in through the park, and there it is. My banded spot on the same salmonberry twig that I initially had marked it, and this is where the tall black figure had crossed the street. And here's the road from the spot where I saw this thing, and you can see it's 2 lanes, and we measured it as 9 feet from the center line to the edge of the road, and that's what this thing did in one step. So that is the main reason I don't think it was human, because even Shaq O'Neal could not, I believe, take a 9-foot stride. Okay, here I am in the middle of the road, and you can see there is no way that someone could stride from the center to the edge. That is 9 feet, 18 feet all the way across. And then they went directly into the bush here. I arrived 45 seconds later and could not find whatever it was. I did mark the place of entry with my blue band, so I was able to locate it even months later. Again, this happened in September, and it had been raining all weekend. There's basically very little to no traffic in the park, and I was here going to go for a hike and looked in my rear view mirror and saw this black figure 600 feet away from me in my rear view mirror for 1 second. But I could tell that it was huge. And again, I was asked to estimate. It was, if I'm 250, it was 500 pounds. And if I'm 6 foot, it was 9 foot, probably, as an estimate. Anyway, that would be hard to duplicate except for somebody on stilts. And I'm not sure how they would make a 9-foot stride on the road without falling over and then running through this bush here, which is steep. Lots of trees, they would fall. Okay, back to this second Sasquatch encounter. Allegedly, I'm not convinced myself, but I'm here telling you the story. This is exactly where I saw it, crossing the road here, from one side of dense forest to the other side of this dense forested area. Okay, again, a day in September, Monday, the slowest day of the week up here. It had been raining all weekend. There was no one up here even camping. I come up on Monday, which was less rainy, to go for a hike because I'd missed the whole weekend because of the rain. And saw this thing in my rearview mirror on the way up to North Beach. I saw something big and black cross the road. And like I say, it was large. It was black as far as I could tell. I couldn't see really facial features, but it did look like a female. And here's where it was, exactly right here, across from this side of the road, going over to the other side of the road. So I saw this thing. I was thinking Sasquatch. Turned around immediately. 45 seconds later, I was at the site. I stopped. I put a rubber band on the salmonberry bush to mark exactly where it was, because a lot of places up here look very similar. And looked around, didn't see anything. Looked for footprints, etc. Again, I probably spent 45 minutes looking around on both sides of the road for any kind of trail, any signs of fur, footprints, etc. But I couldn't find any myself. So I headed back north to go on my hike. Spent a few hours up there, 4 hours probably, and then came back and stopped at the same spot marked by my blue band. On my return visit, I spent another 45 minutes. On the way back, another 45 minutes looking for some signs of Sasquatch. I have to say there are a lot of cars today. That day there were no cars. I was out here alone pretty well, but today's getting into summer, a lot busier. Anyway, I didn't find anything. Went back and decided after talking to some relatives to report this. So I called the cryptozoology department at UBC, which they apparently have one, and somehow was referred to the Bigfoot Research Organization, who then referred me to a private investigator of Sasquatch activity. And he took a report online first, and then a couple days later he came out and spent the whole day examining the situation, taking my report, videotaping, measuring, taking photographs, etc. So anyway, his report was very, I would say, non-biased, unbiased. He never said that he believed or disbelieved. He was just looking at it scientifically. And he was convinced that I'd seen something. He would not say whether it was Bigfoot or Sasquatch or not, which is perfectly reasonable to me, as I was not altogether convinced that what I had seen was, in fact, cryptozoology or Bigfoot or Sasquatch. More likely someone dressed up as a Sasquatch for whatever purpose, I don't know, but maybe to scare people, to keep the story going, whatever. But anyway, I have no evidence either way except that I did see something. So having discussed this quote sighting unquote with my relatives, a lot of them believed in it, and I think all of them said, you know, just leave it alone, don't even report it. To let them live in peace and not get everyone excited about them. There are enough reports already, and if other relatives had seen them, they would not say specifically, but nobody denied it. Anyway, I felt bad reporting it, but I did it under scientific reasoning, that something, a new species, whatever, should be reported so more evidence is accumulated to either disprove it or prove it, and then to potentially help a new species survive, because a lot of species are under encroachment by urban development encroaching on their land and their environment and their habitat. And that has to be evident with the hominids as well, the Bigfoot, the Sasquatch, etc. Anyway, that's my basic reasoning for it. I had never seen a real, quote unquote, Sasquatch before or Bigfoot. I usually keep my eye out for things, bears, cougars mainly, but also Sasquatch, but I've never seen one. And I worked here 1 year back in 1972, and I never saw a Sasquatch or Bigfoot, but I did see bears every day. I never saw any cougars, but I saw signs of cougars and lots of signs of bears. And like I say, every morning I used to have to scare away the brown bears out of the park garbage cans before the crew could pick up the garbage. That was at 5 a.m. usually. Okay, so anyway, I went back, reported this online, filed a report online, anonymously, by the way. I was afraid people would start laughing and stuff at this, but you know, it's been almost a year, 3/4 of a year. So like I say, I waited almost a year, and there was no big humiliation or ridiculing for reporting this online, even anonymously. And looking online and spending a lot of time doing research on this, that there are thousands of other sightings and reports, and usually the people aren't really ridiculed or ostracized. So I decided, okay, maybe it's time to actually report this as a true finding. So having reported this online and no major ridicule, ostracization, or anything like that occurred, the report's online with the many thousands of other, quote, authenticated, unquote, reports. I decided, okay, I guess I should just go public and report this officially using my name. And so people can ask me questions. I saw what I saw. I'm not saying it was a Sasquatch. It was a tall 9-foot figure, probably 500 pounds, probably female, and crossed this road right here from center divider. That's 9 feet to the edge in one stride that I could see. I have excellent eyesight, 25 vision, so 4 times as good as the average person. 600 feet in my rear view mirror, I'm pretty sure what I saw. I could not see facial features, like I say, but I could tell it was a female. And I did not see any other ones. I've never ever seen another Sasquatch or hominid or Bigfoot or anything cryptozoological of that nature. I've never seen Martians or anything else. So I know I saw something. I really have a feeling it was somebody playing a prank, but a prankster could not take a 9-foot stride, and this was rather large for a prankster. Okay, this is the exact spot that it came across the road and disappeared into. Again, I only saw it for approximately 1 second, long enough for it to take one stride and then disappear off the side of the road. So it was very quick. It was not running, and it was just walking, but huge strides, and disappeared within a second. I think it saw me, was watching me, because my car must have passed it. I didn't see it on the side of the road, but it must have waited for my car to go by, and then it crossed the road, and I happened to see it in the rear view mirror. So it was looking at me, but again, it's too far away to see good facial features. Hey, also, when I filed my report, he met me here and we spent a good part of a day traipsing through the woods here looking for signs. The only thing, he said he found a large footprint in the mud in the ditch here, which is kind of a creek, water flowing through it. I mean, it looked like a large footprint, but I can't tell for sure, or I can't say for sure. It was indistinct, if you ask me. He did not feel positive enough, I believe, to even take an impression of it. So if you'd like to review this, it is reported and online. The investigator, again, was very professional. Again, the investigator seemed to be very unbiased, non-judgmental, and just interested in the scientific facts. He recorded everything, videotaped everything, recorded voice recordings as well. We spent quite a while traipsing through the woods here, looking for signs in the direction that he went. I'm not sure if he went actually in this direction, which was the direction it came from, but I did that. And then we went and videotaped a long discussion where he asked me a series of many questions that he asked all the observation witnesses of Sasquatch. At least that's what he's called up here, Bigfoot in the States. But probably similar, if not the same species. And again, this is all online. You can review it. I will put some references at the end and some pictures of the actual report. The videotape, even though I'm not identified and I'm not photographed, does have my speech involved, I believe. And you can review that as well. Okay, I'm not saying it was a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot. I don't know what it was. It's probably a fake. But the big thing against being a fake is the 9-foot stride and the tremendous size that it was. From 600 feet, it was approximately 9 feet tall, to my estimation, and 500 pounds at least. And so at least probably almost twice as what I am. You may call me a grizzly bear, but few people call me a Sasquatch. Okay. Thank you. Okay, the other point, and the last point I wanted to make, is that, and why I'm uncertain about the existence of the hominids such as Sasquatch and Bigfoot, is that there are millions of dollars in reward for anyone who can present DNA evidence to various universities and companies. And someone would become very rich to the tune of millions of dollars if even one hair of a Bigfoot, which was analyzed and showed DNA evidence, was presented. Now the problem, nobody has come up with even one hair or one flake of Sasquatch, Bigfoot feces that would, beyond a shadow of a doubt, prove the existence of DNA Bigfoot. So that makes me very leery of saying that there is actually such a thing, such a hominid as Sasquatch up here or Bigfoot in the States. No one has ever come forth with even a body, which would be like the ultimate, but one hair of DNA. And I will go into this on another video of my investigation of a true, actual Sasquatch sighting and what it turned out to be. And that will be my next video. This is number 3 of a series of 6 videos on the hominids, the Sasquatch, Bigfoot, etc. And cryptozoology, you might call it. Believe it or not. Anyway, I saw something Not sure what it was. Thank you.